Hi, it's Sandra here, and I'm going to do another video for you. I am going to make keto fathead rolls. They're kind of like a biscuit, and my husband's been kind of wanting biscuits and gravy, and I have a recipe for that, so I'm going to do a video on that too. But right now I'm going to make the biscuits. Um, so I've got my 4 cups of mozzarella cheese shredded in here and 4 ounces of cream cheese. That's going to go in the microwave for 2 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to work on the rest. Okay, so that's a cooking. Now we have 4 eggs in here, and you whip them up, mix them good. And then we're going to add our dry ingredients, which is 1 cup of almond flour. But let's do it this way first, because I want to have all this mixed together in here before I mix it in there. So I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I've got a tablespoon. It says anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of baking powder, depending on how fluffy you want it. Well, I'm doing a tablespoon this time. Last time I did a teaspoon. It was really good, but I'm just curious how it'll turn out this way. And then our seasonings is 1/2 teaspoon dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon dried basil, 1/4 teaspoon dried parsley, and 1/4 teaspoon onion powder with 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. So there's the garlic, parsley, and oregano. And there they are. Now I'm going to just kind of get a dry spoon and stir this together so that makes it stirring into that, and you won't have any chunks of one specific thing, because I'm not going to use the blender to do it. I'm going to just stir it the old-fashioned way my grandmother did it, right? And don't have to be real fancy. Okay, so we just add that to our eggs and stir this in. Now, I kind of like to do it my grandmother's old-fashioned way. I think it's a pain washing up the mixer and the beater and everything else. So basically, we get that all stirred in, just like so. We're going to end up with kind of like a dough. So that's kind of doughy. And this just got done, so it's going to be kind of like a dough too. So we can stir this. And then we'll mix the 2 doughs together. We'll use the biggest bowl to mix it in. And there's no almond flour in this, so it's actually nut free because coconut isn't technically a nut. If you were to use coconut, you'd have to mix it all together different or use almond flour. Almond flour doesn't absorb the moisture where coconut flour does. So when you get the absorption, that's how you get the dough. It's kind of going to be doughy. Actually, my fathead pizza crust is the same as this, only you would leave the baking powder out completely. And it makes a very, very good pizza crust. Probably the best pizza crust I've ever had is the fathead pizza crust. And this is called a fathead. It's because the base is the cream cheese and the mozzarella. So we end up with a nice doughy mixture. Make sure it's stirred in good. I've had this one time before and it was really good. I've been keto, or actually Atkins, so keto, same thing, since 2004. So it was a very long time since I had had a biscuit, partly because I'm gluten intolerant, so easy to do keto if you're gluten intolerant. So it was really good. So maybe to the palate of somebody that's not used to doing keto, maybe it's not that good. Although my husband really loved it, and he hasn't done keto because he don't need to. He's slim as can be and has no allergies. He's one of the lucky ones. Not everybody's that lucky. And I just use, I use the coconut oil spray. And it says that it makes 12. If I remember right, I made 8, but we'll see. So basically what we do is we're just going to take some of this and we're going to put it in. I think it's going to make 12. Maybe I made, my thing has 8, so. And I know I did it in a muffin tin before. It works pretty nifty because you end up with nice rounds. Like I say, last time I used only a teaspoon of baking powder, so we'll see how this, it should rise more, although without gluten, it don't activate it, so it's not, that's why you use so much more baking powder when you're using keto, because this one is a little, okay, there's, I have another one, so we'll spray it. I think this is going to be very good. Just like last time. Probably better because it's going to, should be lighter with the extra baking powder. But I preferred it because obviously just me and my husband, we're not going to clean this all up at once. So last time I stored it in the fridge. You can eat it cold. I didn't like it as good cold. My husband liked it fine. I preferred it warmed up. So just a little tip on storing it. Well, I'm going to make more than what they said. So they're probably going to be just smaller. So then I'll put it in the oven at 425. 425 for 15 minutes. So I'll stick it in there and I'll get it going, and then I'll come back when it's done and we'll try it and see if it puffs up more than it did with the teaspoon or the tablespoon this time I used. So I will catch you later. Well, I'm back and I got the biscuits, or should I say fathead rolls, out of the oven here. I have 2 pans that I ended up with, so I ended up with more than what they said. I was supposed to get a dozen, but I used a knife on that pan to go around the edge and loosen it so that they come out. And then that's my little biscuit. I'm going to call it a biscuit because it's going to be biscuits and gravy. So We are going to cut it here. I'm not going to put butter on it because I'm going to be putting gravy on it. But I'm going to taste it. But you can see that it's got, where it had rised, it's light. Got the air pockets. Yep, just as I remembered it. So good. So, now I'm going to finish the sausage gravy. I've browned the sausage, and the sausage that I used happens to be my venison sausage, which is half venison and half pork, and then it's got the seasonings in it. So it's not very fat. I prefer it a little bit more fat. I almost have to add fat to my pan in order to keep it from sticking when I brown it. But I browned it up. Now I'm putting in 1 package, 8-ounce package of cream cheese. This is the easiest recipe ever. And you'll just stir this until it kind of gets melted and put in some cream. So, voila, just like that. Breaking it up into smaller chunks so that it'll melt better. I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I had turned it down to medium low. I'm going to turn it up to medium. I don't want it too high because we're just trying to melt it. And I think I'm done with that because I'm going to use my spoon now. And we're going to just kind of melt this here down a little. And we're going to add half a cup of whipping cream to it. And basically what thickens it is the cream cheese. So you don't have to use flour, which is the typical sausage gravy, how it's made is with flour. But no, that's what makes it keto is the fact you don't have the flour. And I could never eat it because I'm gluten intolerant on top of it all. So there we go, a half a cup of cream. And I'm going to turn it up to medium high and watch it real close. Because we got to heat that up, stir this in. And because the sausage is already seasoned with your sausage seasonings, this happens to be it's kind of a spicy. It's called Sawyer sage, so it's got some sage, cayenne pepper, and it's what my mom used to make years ago, and now the local locker makes the Sawyer sage for us, and I'm so thankful because it's my favorite breakfast sausage. You can use any breakfast sausage from the store. I just happen to use the Sawyer sage, my venison sausage. It's what I have, although this is the last package. So he's going to have to get some venison this fall so that we can make our Sawyer sage. And I think I'm going to have him do the whole venison to my sausage because I use quite a bit of it. But I know he's going to want his cuts to do on the grill, and I like that too. So now I'm going to turn it back down to medium low because it is bubbly and it is kind of thick. So here goes our try. This is the first time I've made it, so I don't know how well it's going to turn out, but looks just like breakfast sausage, sausage gravy. I'm going to shut it off because I don't think it needs to be on. But there you go. You can take a look at it. And I'm going to sample it. We'll see how well it tastes. My friend Monica's going to want to taste this, so I'm going to have to take some to the store. That's good. That is the first biscuits with sausage gravy I have had in since 2004, and it's 2021 now, so a very long time. I forgot how good it could be. Oh, this is good. This is delicious. I'm going to take Monica a little dish of it. I'm going to put one in a bowl, put a lid on it, and take it into her. She can warm it up in the microwave there, but I'm sure she'll like it too. This is really good and simple. 3 ingredients: sausage, cream cheese, 1 full package, and a 1/2 cup of cream. You can't get any easier than that. Oh, it's so good. And the biscuits is a little bit more complicated, but it's not that hard. Just I mix the 2 ingredients separate, and then I put them together. And this is really good. This is really good. My husband is going to be tickled pink when he gets home off the road. He's out in Pennsylvania right now because he's a semi-truck driver, and he will be back on Thursday evening. So that's probably when he'll sample it. And if you like what you see, like it and share it and subscribe to my channel. You can find more recipes and how-tos on Natural Green Creations. Thank you for watching.